All right, if your air fryer keeps betraying you, if it makes your broccoli taste like it was a mistake, and if your potatoes are somehow burnt on the outside and raw on the inside, your air fryer isn't broken. It's just you've been using it like an oven, and it's not an oven. And today, we're gonna talk about that. And complete transparency, this video is sponsored by the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer, so we will be using that throughout the video. And also stick around because we're gonna explain why its specific unique design actually makes a bit of a difference when it comes to cooking certain things. Especially if you've ever tried making pizza in one and then you thought, well, this is a mistake, because I'm gonna show you my recipe for a whole food plant-based pizza crust that'll make you realize you can make takeout level pizza at home. Let's get into it. All right, quick nerd moment first. An air fryer is not magic. It's not frying, and it's definitely not a miniature oven. What it actually is a tiny, aggressive, high-speed convection chamber. That's it. Think of it more like this. It is a small box with a heating element and a fan that moves hot air around like it's angry at your food. Except it's not. It loves your food. And your oven? Larger capacity. Slow air movement. And it's got radiant heat from multiple angles. It's a bit more balanced that way. Your air fryer, tiny cavity, super fast air. Surface focused heat, which basically means that moisture evaporates rapidly. And that is why things get crispy so fast in an air fryer. That is also why things dry out so fast. Especially in whole food plant-based cooking when we are not using oil as a buffer. So when people say, I don't like air fryers because they dry everything out. Yeah, it's because you're using it like an oven. Let's go through the top 5 mistakes people make. Mistake number 1, cooking volume instead of surface area. Air fryers care about surface exposure. If air can't hit it, it's not gonna crisp it up. Take just the simple operation of making French fries inside of it. If you just pile them all up, basically you're just steaming them. And yeah, you can shake it up and move things around, and that helps a little bit. But then what happens is that you've got ones that are, burnt, and then ones that are raw. And so you crank up the heat, and then you burn all of them. And probably still have a few in the middle that are raw. Here's the basic gist of this. Single layer, space between things, respect airflow. Mistake number 2, using oven temperatures when you're using your air fryer. If your oven says 400 degrees Fahrenheit, that's great. Your air fryer isn't an oven. Generally speaking, air fryers run hotter because of airflow intensity. And when it comes to something like the Dome 2 from Typhur, that one is said to run at 25% hotter than the average air fryer, which also means that things cook 25 to 30% faster. Here's the general formula that I use when I'm cooking something in the air fryer for the first time and using instructions that are meant for an oven. I reduce the temperature by 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and I reduce the cooking time by 25%. 25. When it comes to Celsius, I honestly don't know. My guess would be the cooking time, reduce it by more like 15 to 20 degrees. But if anyone uses Celsius, please give it a shot and let us know in the comments down below if you've got a formula that works for you. Generally speaking, just stop blasting everything at 400 degrees Fahrenheit because that's the button you know. Mistake number 3, ignoring moisture. This is a big one for whole food plant-based eating. When you cook oil-free, there's no layer of fat protecting your food from aggressive evaporation. And let's be honest, air fryers strip moisture fast. So when you're doing vegetables, tofu, or potatoes oil-free, here's a few quick rules of thumb. Don't overcook them, flip them earlier, consider a light mist of like water or broth, or coat them in something with like a little bit more structure, like, just straight up mustard or aquafaba, or like some kind of a slurry you make with some spices and some soy sauce or tamari sauce. Think of it like this. You're not just managing cooking and heat, you're managing dehydration. Mistake number 4 is not preheating your air fryer. In a tiny chamber like this, preheating actually matters more than it does when you're preheating your oven. And I know that sounds silly, but you wouldn't bake cookies or bake anything in your oven really without preheating it. The same goes for your air fryer. A lot of people think, well, it's small and it heats so quickly, so why not just throw it in and turn it on from the beginning? It's kind of the basic rule when it comes to cooking, whether it's the oven, whether it's in a frying pan, or whether it's an air fryer. You want the environment to be hot before the food goes in. Especially in an air fryer, if you don't do that, you're basically just doing a slow dehydration as opposed to crisping. Mistake number 5, trying to bake wet things. Casseroles, lasagnas, giant amounts of vegetables. Can you technically do it? Yeah. Should you? No. When it comes to cooking, the air fryer is like a finishing element, or it's a crisping element. It kind of specializes in surface development. So if you're making a dish that's generally speaking wet in the center, like one of those things I previously mentioned, use your oven, or experiment with a lower temperature and a longer cook time. And report back, because I'm gonna be honest, I have not done a lot of experiments when it comes to this. Now, before I show you how to make my whole food plant-based pizza dough, I wanna talk about why the design of something like the Dome 2 from Typhur matters. Because most air fryers, they heat from the top. They have this big giant basket style with air blasting downward, which generally speaking works fine for small batch crisping, but when it comes to something like pizza, it usually ends in disaster. Why? Because usually the top burns before the crust is even close to finishing. The bottom doesn't get that true radiant heat that it needs to cook, and the space is generally cramped. Most air fryers, like I said, are these baskets that are taller than wider, which is the big difference when it comes to the Dome 2 from Typhur. Because with most air fryers, you really can't treat it like a flat cooking surface, which is where air fryers excel. The Dome 2 doesn't just blast heat from above like most air fryers do. It's got another element on the bottom, so you're getting a more overall heat moving experience that I have not seen in another air fryer. It's wider, it's flatter, it lets you spread things out. And it's actually the closest I've seen to an air fryer acting like an oven, but I would still follow the rest of the advice I've given in this video. Which is exactly what I'm gonna show you with my whole food pizza dough recipe. But if you are interested in picking up the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer, you can use the QR code that's on the screen. There's a description link down below, but most importantly, they wanna give you 10% off if you use the code PB_J_NEW. Isn't that nice of them? Really nice. All right, let's make some pizza. This pizza dough recipe is the one that I've been using for years. It's my go-to. It makes enough to make like 4 individual sized pizzas for like an adult, or you could probably share if you have a smaller appetite or just don't want to smash as much pizza in your face as we do. I think this dough freezes well, but I honestly haven't experimented with that because when there's pizza dough in our house, we eat it. This has become foolproof. I can kind of make it in my sleep, but I've actually kind of upgraded it recently because what I started doing is proofing the dough in my Instant Pot. You don't need to do that. You can just do that in a warm space in your house. But if you're interested, I'm gonna show you how to do that today. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take your flour and just the salt that you need. The salt is important here, even if you're trying to be salt-free. You need salt in baking to activate the sciencey stuff. Put that together, whisk it, set it aside. Now in a small bowl, you're gonna mix together your warm water and your yeast. The temperature of the water should be like drinking temperature for tea or coffee. So just, run the tap water until you get it to that temperature do you know what I mean? That's the temperature you want. If it's too hot, it is going to kill your yeast. If it's not warm enough, it might work okay, but I find it's not gonna help the yeast activate either. It's like a fine line. And you do need a little bit of sugar in there because that's like the food for your yeast to help it activate. I like to just use a little bit of coconut sugar, or I like to use a little bit of maple syrup. I've used them both. They both work great. I haven't tried using date paste, but if anyone out there wants to be experimental and let us know in the comments down below, that might work well too. Set your measuring cup, your little bowl, or whatever you're doing your yeast water mixture in aside, and let it sit for a few minutes and then come back to it. What you're looking for is it looks like this. The glass is nice and foamy on top. If it doesn't look like this, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your yeast is dead. You need to go to the store and get new yeast. That said, when your yeast is ready to go, throw that into a bowl, throw your flour and salt in there, and start stirring it together until a shaggy dough forms together. If you have got a mix master that has like a dough hook and you want to be lazy, which is probably what I'm going to do today, use that. If you still have too much flour hanging out at the bottom of the bowl, just add a little bit more water up to like a 1/4 cup more, because it's, you know, bread and doughs can be a little bit tricky depending on the time of year, depending on your altitude. Basically what you're doing is you're looking for a smooth ball to form. So if you need to add a little bit more flour because it's too wet, or a little more water because it's too dry, that's okay. This is kind of the texture we're looking for. We want it to be smooth, not too sticky. You want to be able to touch it with your hands and not leave a bunch of stuff behind. So the next thing you need to do is you're going to put it in a bowl or in your air fryer, and then just cover it up so that it can rise. If you're putting it in your air fryer, I like to put it on the yogurt setting, and I put it on low. It's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe. And I let it sit in there and it just poofs up like magic. Now, here's the thing. If you're not opposed to using a little bit of oil, it doesn't hurt to get a little bit of oil. You can also use aquafaba if you have that, and just rub it over the surface of it. Like a teaspoon is all you need. Like, that's it. Rub it around. It's just gonna help keep the moisture in and stop it from like getting a bit of a skin on it as it goes. It's not gonna add a ton of calories to your food. It's the kind of thing I probably am gonna do today, just because it's gonna create a better dough. We're not putting tons of oil in the dough. We're literally just using it to keep it at its optimal, you know, texture. Let that sit until it's doubled in size. It'll probably take like an hour to 2 hours, depending on your heat house situation. When it's big and ready to go, just like give it a little punch down to let some of that air escape, and then put it on the counter with a little more flour, and then just knead it again to get it back into that ball shape. At this point, you can divide it into 4 equal amounts. If you've got a kitchen scale, weigh it first, divide by 4, and then just try to cut it into those kind of shapes. But if one's a little bigger or a little smaller, it doesn't really matter. You can eyeball this. If you're not gonna use all of your dough today, that is fine. Put it in a Ziploc bag or in a container and put it in your fridge. It'll be fine in there for at least a week. If you are gonna use it later on, I just strongly suggest bringing it out, letting it come up to room temperature, and then you might need to add a little more flour and just roll it out just to get it back into shape. Now what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna put some flour on your countertop and just use a rolling pin to roll it out into the best circle shape you can muster. Or if you wanna make a square, make a square. You wanna get fancy and make a heart, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you for your pizza shape. If you make something really cool, please send us the photo, post it to our Instagram or some other place. If you are making your pizza in your Typhur Dome 2, like I am today, it's got a pizza setting there. It's designed to make pizza in. It truly is. So what you want to do is take the little basket out, get a piece of parchment in there, push that pizza button, because what it's going to do right now is it's going to preheat the basket to the perfect temperature for you. So while that's happening, now you can roll out your pizza and put all your toppings on and get it all ready to go. I'm just keeping it simple with some vegetables, and I'm just going to use our regular cheese sauce that we have in our cookbook right here. It's a very versatile sauce. We made some sauce the other day, so if you're looking for a go-to plant-based cheese sauce, you can get it at the QR code right here or the link in the description down below. Works for many, many things, including this pizza we're gonna make tonight. And then once it dings, even if you're not ready, you're still making your toppings, don't worry about it. Slide it in, close the door, walk away. It'll ding when it's ready. That's what. Here's a little tip. The air fryer is like whisper quiet when it's making the pizza. You can barely hear it. The first time I made pizza in here, I actually thought it wasn't cooking.
I literally just thought it wasn't cooking.
Wooly just asked me. And Wooly is putting pesto on her pizza, which is something I wish I would have thought of before I put mine in. Hey, nice shirt. Where'd you get that from?
I got it from the merch store run by our very own Ephraim.
You can get other things in the merch store. They're on the screen right now. Links, QR codes right here and in the description.
You know what I really want? Is a hoodie.
Yeah?
Aren't hoodies nice? I think everyone should get a hoodie.
We'll get you a hoodie from the next drop.
Okay.
Oh, that's the other fun thing. Oh. If you buy anything, your name goes in a draw, and next time we release new designs of shirts and hoodies, your name gets in a draw for a free t-shirt. I love about cooking pizza inside this thing. And look at it. It's beautiful. That said, if you're using your oven, that's fine too. I highly recommend getting a pizza stone. And what you're gonna wanna do is put that pizza stone in the oven at 475 degrees Fahrenheit and let it sit for probably at least 10-20 minutes to get it all heated up. And then once your pizza's ready to go, slide it onto the pizza stone, cook it for like 10 to 12 minutes. And the oven one's great, nothing wrong with the oven one, but I personally prefer doing it in the air fryer, especially the way this thing cooks it, and it's especially great for a quick lunch. Literally, I have like had an extra pizza dough in the fridge, I rolled it out, put some toppings on, threw it in there, walked the dogs. When I came back, it was like having takeout pizza. Who doesn't want takeout pizza that's that quick and easy? Here's the final takeaway. I want you to stop asking, can I cook this in my air fryer? And start asking yourself, is this about surface crisping or deep baking? If it's surface, air fryer. If it's about volume or has like a wet interior like a lasagna or a casserole or it needs slow baking, it's probably your oven. And if you're specifically trying to do something like pizza, design matters a lot. Don't forget to use the QR code on the screen right now or the links down below if you're interested in checking out the Typhur Dome 2 air fryer as well. And even if you don't, just fix your mindset. An air fryer is not an oven. If this helped you stop ruining vegetables, let me know in the comments down below. If you'd like me to do another air fryer video where I do a deep dive into some actual recipes and the way that we use this on a day-to-day basis, let me know in the comments down below and I will consider doing that. Specifically, let me know what kind of things you're looking to cook in it or the kind of recipes you're hoping to get. That helps me create the content for all of you. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button to let YouTube know to share it with other people. Obviously, subscribe for more videos like this and stick around because YouTube has this video all queued up for your enjoyment right now.